The depiction of fate in One Piece has been a bit controversial and a topic of debate within the community. From people saying that One Piece is completely anti-fate to people saying that One Piece has been based on fate the entire time. The first thing I want to say is, I don't think there's any way that I would think that One Piece is anti-fate. I would actually say, in my opinion, One Piece embraces the theme of fate better than any series that I've ever seen, and more unabashedly than any series I've ever seen. And this is especially obvious when you look at Luffy. Luffy as a character is someone who literally jumps into whatever he feels like getting into and allows fate to handle everything.
Fuck it, dude.
That has been Luffy's character since chapter 1. We see this nigga getting sucked into a whirlpool. He's like, if this is where I'm supposed to die, then this is where I'm supposed to die. What? Compared to other shonen series where I think going against fate is a core theme, I think One Piece more so supports thrusting yourself into your fate by following what you really want to do. In One Piece, as opposed to other series, fate is depicted differently. It's not necessarily this predeterminism, or like all these things are going to happen before you're even born, everybody knows. It's more so that who you are as a person shapes your fate. Let's take Luffy for example. Luffy is the new Joy Boy Sun God Nika figure, right? I think in other series, it would have been depicted as Luffy was predetermined to become this figure from birth. Whereas in One Piece, it's more so shown as because of who Luffy is as a person, this is the only place he could end up. Because he was always gonna do what the fuck he wanted to do no matter what. Which I think is even more empowering than the breaking fate theme. Simply because the breaking fate theme, in a way, puts you in opposition to the universe. As for the way that One Piece depicts fate, it's more so depicted as fate is determined by the core traits of individuals. So because Luffy is this altruistic freedom figure, he's always going to end up in that place because of who he is as a person. Same thing with anyone else in the series. Another character that depicts the themes of fate extremely well is Zoro. Even the idea of Zoro going around and collecting new, more powerful swords and more dangerous swords that typically end up killing the swordsman that gains them is in and of itself Zoro leaving the outcome of his dream up to fate. What comes to mind is the scene in Log Town. You know what scene I'm talking about, where he throws the sword and you know that's like a top 5 Zoro scene. And the reason why it's a top 5 Zoro scene is it depicts how Zoro interacts with fate in the same way that Luffy interacts with fate. I'm going to be unapologetically me. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, and whatever happens is what was meant to happen. I didn't regret any of it, so it is what it is. Even just the message that Roger and Odin left about this prophecy and whatnot showed that certain things were meant to happen in the One Piece world, regardless of what happened in between. And we've seen so many times throughout the series where fate comes in and protects the Straw Hats, specifically Luffy, where things that normally just shouldn't happen simply because it's Luffy in that situation. Almost as if some force is pushing him forward. Even just the way that Luffy has progressed throughout the One Piece world. Nobody in the One Piece world progresses this fast. Luffy's the only person that became a pirate, and his rookie year was already like halfway to getting to the One Piece. Even Law and Kid, who have been on a similar time scale to Luffy, they've been doing pirate shit since they were really young. They've just now become captains, but they've essentially been pirates or criminals their whole life. Luffy is the only one who just seems to always end up in the right situation to get the maximum amount of progress out of every situation. Which brings me into Gear 5. A lot of people are turned off by Gear 5 because of the way that it interacts with fate in the One Piece universe. And many people feel like this breaks the themes of fate in One Piece, which I disagree with, since we've already gotten the explanation of devil fruits having a mind of their own, and possibly through some kind of force being able to affect where they end up. And because the only reason Luffy is able to tap into this power is because of who he is as a person. But I know the real reason One Piece fans have a problem with this, and it all has to do with agenda. As always with everything in One Piece, it always has to do with agenda. As One Piece fans, we have spent years shitting on Naruto fans for the way that fate was depicted in their series, even though I like the way that fate was depicted in the Naruto series, but that's a discussion for another day. One Piece fans have spent so much time shitting on Naruto fans for that now they're smelling it. the fate themes coming to a head in One Piece, and they know they're gonna have to eat those words. And that's what a lot of One Piece fans are upset about. And I've seen this specifically in like the shonen community, this idea that even having fate as a theme at all is a bad thing. That the only way for a shonen to be good is if the characters are fighting against fate and being all edgy and the world's against us, but we're still gonna fight. Like, bro, that's not necessary. Luffy is the chosen one. Really, niggas should have smelled the roses when we got to Fishman Island, when we had people literally telling the future, for one. And two, we literally get a prophecy of a specific person with a specific set of powers being born on a time clock every 800 years. That doesn't seem like something that could happen in a series that is against the idea of fate. And we still don't have a full depiction of what the will of D is, but I'm willing to bet fate is tied in there somewhere. In general, the way that every D clan member, whether small or large, in some part has kept the revolution alive in times where the world government has done everything correctly to snuff it out. The biggest example of this for me is Jaguar D Saul. When his will and his ideology and beliefs lead to Robin being saved, and like 30 years later now, Robin being one of the only people in the world that can read the poneglyphs. Most people will never know about that sacrifice that Saul made, decision that Saul made to defect from the Navy and do all the things that he's done thus far in the series. But even those small actions have had a domino effect that will lead to the dawn later on. And it's this interesting idea that no matter how big or small, each member of the D clan is fated to help bring this revolution that they're all waiting for, even if they aren't going to be the individual that gets all the glory in the end. And I'm very interested to see depictions of different D clan members from different time periods to see just how far back that domino effect goes. And just in general, how many impossible scenarios that we've seen happen in the One Piece world of things converging that have never converged previously. I think is pretty indicative of some otherworldly force at play here. I don't know if Oda will ever delve into like gods and spiritual things in One Piece. No. Because it seems like he's more into like the sci-fi thing. But in general, I think some of the more nebulous, mystical themes in One Piece are very interesting, and I'd like to see them delved into more. But yeah, man, that's all I got to say for today. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, man, I'm gone. Damn.